All right, hello everyone and welcome. Thank you for joining us for our monthly Squirrel webinar. In today's presentation, we will be introducing Squirrel Cloud Point of Sale and showcasing how we are delighting guests from table to curb. My name is Megan Funk. I'm on the customer success team here at Squirrel Systems, and I will be your host today. Presenting our webinar, we have Cyrus C., our Senior Product Marketing Manager, Stacy Dean, our Senior Product Manager, and Bob Oliva, our Cloud Product Owner. Before we kick things off today, there are a few housekeeping items I need to go over. So today's webinar is scheduled to last about 1 hour with a Q&A session at the end. All attendees will be muted during the presentation. If you have a question at any time, please post in the questions tab and Cyrus will be addressing them at the end. This webinar will be recorded and published for viewing. We will share those details in a communication afterwards. And at the end of the presentation, we will have a post-webinar survey. We would sincerely appreciate if you took the time to provide your thoughts and comments today. All right, so on to the exciting part. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first presenter, Cyrus C. from our product marketing team. Go ahead, Cyrus.
Great, thanks so much, Megan. Really excited to be here today. Today's webinar, we'd like to, first of all, thank you on behalf of the team here. I'm really excited to be here to introduce Squirrel Cloud Point of Sale today for the first time for many of you. In this webinar, we will give you a tour of Cloud Point of Sale, our newest next generation point of sale platform. And by the end of this webinar, we hope you'll come away with a good understanding of what it can do and help you decide if it might be a good fit for your business. In this webinar, the first thing we'll do is we'll define what a cloud point of sale is, why we built a cloud point of sale, and what makes our cloud point of sale different and unique in the marketplace. And then I'll hand it off to Bob to give folks on the call today a live demo to sample just a few of the many features that are in our new point of sale. And then following the demo, Stacy from our product management team will help answer the question, is cloud point of sale right for me? And then finally, we'll make sure to have some time for Q&A before we wrap up. So first off, what is a cloud-based point of sale? Well, simply put, a cloud-based point of sale is a point of sale that does not need local infrastructure like a back office or server to operate. Unlike a traditional point of sale, which would require a separate back office PC that might be tucked away under a closet or a desk or a table. Instead, a cloud-based point of sale relies on an internet connection to access a remote cloud service that is running that point of sale software, and all of your data and the software is stored and operated in this cloud service. So because of this, the cloud point of sale requires very little hardware. It doesn't require that separate local server hardware, but it can run simply on, say, a tablet or a terminal, and with an internet connection to access that cloud service, then you can operate the point of sale. And with that, there's a number of different benefits by using a cloud-based point of sale. And one of the first primary benefits is that with everything accessible in the cloud, you can get to your data and to your point of sale from basically anywhere where you can access a web browser and internet connection. And with that, you're able to gain real-time access to what's going on inside your restaurant or inside your operation. You can access reports and data. The other thing that is appealing with a cloud-based point of sale is when it comes to upgrades, you no longer have to worry about trying to upgrade a local server, download software, and update your own system. Being in the cloud, the software is automatically updated on a regular basis, and you can take advantage of features and updates on a regular basis. And perhaps one of the most important benefits of a cloud-based point of sale is its ability to scale and to grow with you as a business. So as your business grows and you maybe expand your operation, you need to add more terminals and tablets, a cloud-based point of sale allows you to quickly add more terminals and more devices and more capability, more add-ons and other applications without having to worry about if your local server or hardware PC is able to handle all of that extra devices and applications. Being in the cloud, the cloud allows you to get access to more resources and capability to run different devices and applications. And then finally, cloud is also inherently more secure. Not only do you have less hardware which is storing all of your data in one place, which could maybe be subject to possibly theft or being damaged. All of that now is stored in the cloud, and within these cloud services, they have very secure measures in place to protect your data. Okay, so now that we've talked a little bit about what a cloud-based point of sale, I wanted to introduce Squirrel's Cloud Point of Sale, our independent restaurant edition. This is our first edition that was launched just last month. It's really a culmination of years of experience that Squirrel has had serving hospitality brands of all kinds. We first launched Squirrel Cloud in a beta or early access program back in the spring of 2019. And since then, we've worked closely with a number of independent restaurants with different styles of operations, from a cafe style counter for service to casual table service, to really make sure that we've got the right feature set and capabilities for those types of restaurants. The independent restaurant edition will be the first of other editions that we'll be announcing over time to meet the needs of different operational styles, including restaurant chains and hotels and resorts. So let's jump in and learn a little bit more about Cloud Point of Sale. So first off, Squirrel Cloud Point of Sale was purpose-built to help operators create an amazing guest experience from table to curb. It's designed to help you take orders from both inside and outside your restaurant, and to help you streamline your operations. With Cloud Point of Sale, you can take orders from within the restaurant, from the table, a counter, patio, bar, and send those orders directly to the kitchen. Or the point of sale can also handle orders coming in from an online ordering platform, or from the phone for takeout, curbside pickup, or delivery. Secondly, besides an easy to use and efficient ordering experience, Cloud Point of Sale is designed to help you streamline your operations by helping you manage the flow of orders with integrations to kitchen automation or kitchen display, and to also give you access to real-time reporting and data to track and manage your sales, labor costs, and inventory. As well, payments is also an integral part of point of sale, and with Cloud Point of Sale, we're giving customers and ultimately your guests an opportunity to be able to pay the way they want, whether it's with pay at the counter or pay at the terminal, pay at the counter or pay at the table devices, or even mobile phone ordering options as well. So one of the things, most important aspects about Cloud Point of Sale, especially to those who have, many of you on the call who have used Squirrel Professional or Squirrel 11 for many years, is that our Cloud Point of Sale is not simply just Squirrel Professional, Squirrel 11 in the cloud. It's useful to think of Cloud Point of Sale as a brand new point of sale that's based on a completely new cloud-based architecture. And by doing that, we took an opportunity to take the knowledge and expertise that we have had from decades of hospitality experience and take some of the best features and capabilities from the Squirrel Professional platform and develop a new modern point of sale that's really focused on ease of use, from setup to onboarding to helping staff pick it up from day one, making it easy for them to learn, making it intuitive. The second thing we also wanted to focus on was the freedom to choose. We wanted to make sure that many restaurants want that flexibility to design an experience around that's unique to them. And what's important there is that we wanted to create a point of sale that's not just an all-in-one Android or iPad only point of sale, but we want to give our customers the ability to run their point of sale on different types of terminal hardware, whether it be a fixed terminal, an iOS or Android tablet. We want to give restaurants that choice, that freedom to choose. And then finally, we wanted to build a platform that's not only easy to use, gives you that freedom to choose, but it's built by a company that you can trust for its hospitality experience. Not only is Cloud built by a company that's been around since 1984, we have that hospitality experience, but with Cloud Point of Sale, we've partnered up with Microsoft with their new Azure Cloud Services platform. It's a platform that has been trusted by some of the top Fortune 500 companies in the world. Many of them hospitality companies. Microsoft has come to be well respected and trusted, and as a platform that can be used for some of the most demanding applications out there, right? So it's about the ease of use, freedom, and a platform that you can trust. So what we're going to be showing today is really focusing on that Cloud Point of Sale Independent Restaurant edition. And with that, this edition that you're going to learn more about today is really ideal for that small, independent counter service or table side casual dining operation. It has your core cloud-based point of sale features, including your table-side ordering and seat management, menu management, reporting, analytics, and integrated payments. And these are some of the key features and capabilities that we are going to be able to showcase shortly with Bob. He's going to do a little live demo to show a few highlights from this list here. And one of the key points here, and as mentioned earlier, is with the Independent Restaurant Edition, that is the first restaurant edition we just launched. And over time, we're going to be adding more editions to match other operational styles. Now, the last thing I'll do before I hand it off over to Bob to talk about to go through the demo is to talk about the hardware that Cloud Point of Sale runs on. As I said earlier, the Cloud Point of Sale is designed to run on a large variety of hardware. Primarily, it runs on our Squirrel's newest hospitality grade terminals. That's the WS 150 series. So initially, it will run on the WS 150 and the 151, which are our 15-inch traditional and widescreen format terminals, and then also our WS 140 series, the 141H, the smaller 14-inch form factor. That's going to be coming soon. But essentially, Cloud Point of Sale will run on the latest Cloud Point of Sale terminal hardware. And then finally, Cloud Point of Sale hardware will run on your own tablet, whether it's an iOS, Android, or Windows platform. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bob, who's going to give you a live demo showing off some of the different aspects of the front of the house and back office and reporting. And what Bob will be showing is really a small sampling of what Cloud can do, but hopefully give you a really good sense of what the product can do. So with that, I'm going to just turn it over here.
All right, thank you, Cyrus, and thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. Before I begin, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the pieces involved with Cloud. So each app, the application that you get from the stores, say the iOS store, the Windows store, or the Google Play Store, that app is the terminal. That's a terminal application. And the back office configuration is simply a URL to squirrelcloud.com, which you'll be asked to log into. And we'll get to that in just a moment. So when you load up the app, you're asked to log in, and that directs you to your store. And then you sit at an enter badge screen. This is where servers, managers, you'll enter your badge number and it'll take you to where you are configured. The first demonstration I like to go through is that of tableside ordering. So if you think of a traditional POS, party seated at a table, then greeted by the server, and that server is then ready to take that order in whatever order that the table is going to give it, right? So the server could have a notepad or do it by memory, but they take that order and then that server will return to a terminal and punch in the order. And if you know Squirrel, we like to have servers enter in those orders by the appropriate seat numbers so that making separate checks later on is a lot cleaner, right? So when you think of a tableside ordering, though, it's a bit more complicated because now that server isn't simply writing down or memorizing what the customers are saying. They're actually having to put that into the computer. So it makes it a little more complicated. So one of the things here we'll go through is on a table, I'm going to log in as a server, and that's going to bring me into my table list. Now, if I was doing this for the first time, the server gets to choose what tables they're on, and then it's provided with this list from then on, and they can go in and they can add and remove from this list as needed. Active tables show up here with the icon, so I can preview any active tables that I may have. So I'm gonna go ahead and start a new table, and I'll go ahead and say that there's 3 guests there. Now, at this point, I can select these seats and prepare for the order coming at me, right? So I can say, okay, there's 3 seats coming, and I can choose simply by touching whichever seat is going to go first, right? I still can do my seat numbers. I still can move. I can still sit, skip seat and that kind of thing, but I don't have to do that, and I don't want to do that when I'm ordering tableside, right? I want to be able to get to that seat fast. So whoever is going to order first, say seat number 2 is going to start, and we'll simply go in and start ordering. So before I do that, I'll just lay out or explain the layout here. Is you have a search bar that will search for menu items. You have the check display. You have your menu screen tabs here, which are configurable. You can put them here, you can put them across the top, or you can put them down the middle. And then your menu items. So we'll go ahead and say seat 2 wants a Guinness, and then maybe seat 1 speaks up, and seat 3. Now, if they needed more time to order their food, the server can go back. When they return to the table, they can come back and take more orders. But if they're ready to order now, then the server simply just touches the seat number that they're looking to do. So say seat 1, and then maybe seat 3, steak sandwich, medium, and those pop-ups will, are forcing the question so they don't forget. And then at this point, they have the order, and they will go ahead and hit send. You now have this active table, okay? So you can go in and preview again, or if you're gonna order more, you can double tap and it'll go into that table, and then I can order more. So if they wanted more drinks, I can go in and say, okay, we'll do another drink. The other options that you have here are depending on what's selected. So if you select more than one item, you can go to the action bar and you have different actions: move, split, remove, round, replace, that kind of thing. You also have seat actions that you can do. You can name seats. you can print, you can remove, and then you have check actions. And for a check action, we have, service charge, partial payments, auto split, that thing. So if they were ready and they wanted separate checks, say, server would go in, hit partial payments, and then we have our original check with our seats, and then new checks being created off to the right. So seat 3, I can push over, and then I have a plus sign up here to touch to create a new check. And then I would take seat 2, push it over there, and then I don't have to do seat 1 because seat 1's already on the check, right? That's the original check there. And then I can go ahead and either finish and print or finish. So if the server wanted the checks right away, they would hit finish and print, or if it was just a matter of preparing and didn't want it to print, then they would just hit finish. So once that's complete, they would prepare, the server would take the checks over to the table, get the payments, and then coming back to settle the check, the server could either, access the full table or move over to what's called our checklist view. So right now we're on our table view, and this just lists tables. If I go to the checklist view, you'll see that I have checks for that particular table. So I created 3 checks for table 6. And, if there was a larger table, that the server may have, not going to have the checks in the same order. So they would look at the check, select which one it is that they wanted to pay, and then they would just simply settle that check out. And then on the receipt options, we can print, you can email, you can print and email, or no receipt is needed. So that concludes the tableside ordering. The next demonstration I'd like to just quickly go through is that of the counter service. So we think of the counter service as, I'm walking up to a counter as a customer, I'm going to order, I'm going to pay, and either wait and they're going to give me my food, or I'm going to go sit down and they're going to bring me my food. So as a counter, when I log in, it's a check style department, so I'm not worried about tables. And when I go hit new check, I could set it up so that I have my check tag. So this can be a name, it could be a number if it's a table tent. And then I go ahead and proceed with the order. So say they're gonna get a drink and a burger and sub for onion rings. So I have my order here. I don't need to send it. I can just go straight to pay. And then however they're gonna pay, they do the payment. Receipt or not. And that is that. And then the requisition has the name or the table tag on it. They'll either, call that customer up or they'll bring it to the table. The last operation that I want to go through is the takeout curbside delivery. So this is not the online ordering. The online ordering is an integration that comes through. This is for phone-in orders. So somebody at the restaurant is picking up the phone and taking orders from people calling in. So on the screen, you start with a slightly different interface. You have a couple of different columns that have to do with the type of takeout service that you're providing. So in the configuration, you can configure what you provide. So if you just provide takeout, or in-store pickup, then you don't have these two options here. It's just an in-store pickup and you're not going to be asked, right? It's just going to go straight into asking for that customer. You can enable curbside and or delivery. So whichever ones you have enabled are the ones that are going to show up. So let's say we're going to do a curbside. Now we're asking the customer for information. So either they're a new customer or they're existing customer, and you can go by first name, last name, or say a phone number. If the phone number matches, when you hit search, the phone number matches something that's already in the database, then that customer information populates. The order taker can say, are you Bob and you live here? Yes, that's me. And I can confirm that. And then I'm at my menu. So now this is as simple as the other interfaces where you're just ordering. If they want, say, chicken wings and pizza, and then I can send it. So now on my list, I already had a previous order here. That was a delivery order. And now I have a curbside. So what I have listed is the information that would be needed for somebody to manage this stuff when they're coming in to get the order. So I can come in and I can say, okay, I just want to look at curbside. Maybe I'm the curbside manager. And all I want to look at is curbside stuff. So I don't have to sift through the takeout and the delivery. And then same thing for the other types. And then when that person is there, settling out that check is the same as the other one. Simply pay. And I'm presented with my options. So that's the front of house demonstrations for today. And next, what I'll go into is the back office. So with the back office, it is strictly a URL. So we're going to squirrelcloud.com. Once I trigger that, then it's going to ask me for a login. So I'm logged in as manager at demo1.squirrelcloud.com. And that directs me to my store and my configuration. So the configurations are should be familiar, right? We have setup information that you do menus, pop-ups, contests. When you go into any of these, you know, this interface was designed with touch screens in mind, right? So if you're doing it on a tablet, or like I'm doing it on a desktop now, I have a cursor, or if I was just simply touch to go into. So I'm looking at a menu entry list, and I can go in, and these are my details for the actual item that we're looking at, right? So you have an item name, you have a menu category, printer groups, price lists, pop-ups if you need any pop-ups. One of the things that we added with the pop-ups was the ability that I don't have to put it in a group if it's only one screen, right? If I have a one screen pop-up, I don't need to configure that into a group and then add that group to the item. I can do either or. So I can add a screen, simple one screen, or a group, or a combination. Then I have the tabs along the side that we deal with for this menu item. Barcodes, if we're putting in barcodes, transformers, specific layouts on the screens, any countdowns, and then kitchen items as well. This interface is consistent throughout. So depending on where it is that you happen to be going to, these are the interfaces. Lastly, with the reports. So with the reports, we built about 20 or so reports. Each report has different elements of that report. And the reports are visual focused, right? So when you go into, say, a daily summary, that report, this particular report is a dashboard, right? So I'm looking at a dashboard here that has my sales, payments, any payment rounding if I happen to be in a place with payment rounding, you know, tips, promos, taxes, sales by revenue center, time periods. And then these reports also have a refresh, right? So they get refreshed every 5 minutes, but if I happen to be and I want to look at something right away, I just refresh it right away. The reports are also focus driven. So if we look at, say, a transaction report, when we have the transaction report, the elements that within this report are, I can focus on them. And what I mean by that is if I click on it, then the rest of the numbers deal with whatever it was that I clicked on. So you can see here how this changed. So if I click on this again, that toggles it off. So now it goes back to everything, or I can go to food only and it goes back to food. So I also have categories. So I have different category levels. Here is like the highest category, right? I got bar and food. And then I can drop down into my subs, right? So I'm looking at wine, entrees, beers, and I can go down 5 levels. And then on the hovering ability where you can set it so that you can see the premix percentage, and then also on the servers here that you can go through. And then on all these reports, you have the ability to either download the report as a PDF, which is more of a tabular report, or download this report as a CSV file that can be imported into Excel. And with that, that concludes the demonstration, and I will pass it over to Stacy.
Great, thank you, Bob. So now that we've seen an overview of Squirrel's cloud point of sale system, let's take a look at which point of sale platform might be right for your business. I'm going to take a little time to go over these products, and then I'll provide a few tips to help you determine which is right for you. And then we'll pass it back to Bob, and he'll go through the currently available features in more detail and let you know what's coming up next. So most of you on the call today are familiar with Squirrel 11, and hopefully you're all on the latest version. And the latest version right now is 11.7. Our flagship Squirrel 11 point of sale is a flexible and powerful point of sale system that's been proven to handle some of the most complex hospitality operations, from large premium casual chains to hotels and resorts. Now, the server is managed on site, and it might be in a back office, in a server room, or in the case of our starter bundle or locations with a smaller footprint, perhaps 4 terminals or less, or mobility units. It is running on a Squirrel host terminal. And as you know, Squirrel 11 and the Squirrel 11 starter bundle are highly customizable with a very broad range of features and partner integrations. And the corporate point of sale manager application for Squirrel 11, which we like to refer to as CPM, enables central management of multi-location chains and multi-concept operations. Now, the distinction between that and the Squirrel Cloud point of sale is that the Squirrel Cloud point of sale is actually a true cloud-based software. It's often referred to as software as a service, or SaaS for short, and is provided in a subscription basis. Squirrel Cloud is offered in editions, and the first edition that we have available has been designed for independent restaurants that operate in a counter service or casual table service style. Our focus with these additions is on configuring the front of house interface to include the features that you need for the way that your store operates, with a simple and intuitive user interface. So it's easy to learn, it's easy to train new staff, and you can run efficient counter service and table service even when you're dealing with high turnover or more junior staff members. In the future, we'll be building out additional additions that suit other complex table service and multi-location operations. So each next edition will be focused on the needs of certain operational styles, and it'll include access to the suite of features and interfaces that are tailored for that style. So if you want to start with Squirrel Cloud Point of Sale today, then the service will grow with you as your operations expand and change over time. Next, I just want to briefly review how the server equipment and the database is managed with a cloud point of sale system. Squirrel Cloud Point of Sale software is hosted in Microsoft's world-leading Azure platform, and it takes advantage of the secure Azure platform resources. The space for your back office server or host terminal is no longer required with the Squirrel Cloud, and along with that, you no longer need a technical resource to manage it. The Cloud Point of Sale platform subscription includes the management of your database in the secure Azure cloud and all the services that are provided by Squirrel systems engineers and technical support reps to monitor and to maintain your system security, the performance and uptime, and all application updates for your point of sale system. Your point of sale system software is actually kept up to date with the latest released version, including feature enhancements and bug fixes that are pushed directly to your devices. This simplifies the whole process of keeping your system up to date with the latest version. For the front of house app, the new versions are available in the App Store, and they populate all active Squirrel terminals and mobile tablet devices, similar to how you'd update an app on your iPhone. And the back office web service is updated automatically with the latest release. So next, I think we should move to the next slide, and we'll just take a look at both of these together. Now, first we have our Squirrel 11, and it's perfect for, as we know, for the larger, more complex operations, and anything down to a counter or casual service, but it really comes down to your operational style and how you manage your guest experience. So you want to take a look at how you send orders to the kitchen, how you manage tables. For the Squirrel Cloud Point of Sale system, right now we have the Independent Restaurant Edition, and that focuses on limited table service or casual dining, similar operations to counter-style cafes or coffee shops, bakery shops. You could even use the Squirrel Cloud Point of Sale system if you're operating a food truck or an additional pop-up location. And as a guide, we're looking at currently operations that have sales up to about 2.5 million annual sales, whereas Squirrel 11 is looking at larger and more complex operations. So there is a trade-off where you might be looking at a smaller location that still needs those complex table service features. And in a moment, Bob will review those features in detail. In addition, as I said, Squirrel 11 has the multi-location management. Right now, we're only looking at independent single locations for Cloud Point of Sale. The next thing that you could take a look at is how you manage your above store operations, and that's how do you manage menu changes, how do you access reports, are you in the back office of your restaurant, or are you at a separate location, a different office location, or even at your home or on the go. This will come into play when you're looking at availability of reporting, web-based reporting through Cloud Point of Sale, web-based menu management through Cloud Point of Sale that's accessible wherever you have a secure internet connection. There are options for Squirrel 11 that we can discuss, or you can discuss with your sales representative. Remote browser is available. It comes standard with the starter bundle. For web-based reporting, of course, you can use a Squirrel IQ interface to access your reports remotely. CPM is also a remote option. For upgrades, as we've discussed, Annual upgrades are scheduled through the Squirrel 11 and for our on-premise systems. While for Squirrel Cloud Point of Sale, these are monthly updates. You're continually on the latest version of software. In terms of integrations, as you know, we have many partners, over 100 partners in many different categories for Squirrel 11. For Squirrel Cloud Point of Sale, we've focused on the main 10 partners. We can provide online ordering and third-party delivery through providers like DoorDash. We have kitchen automation through our partner QSR, and a number of other integrations that are important to you in the independent restaurant category, including hotel property management services, reservations, accounting, and of course your payment. Next, I'll pass this on to Bob, and he'll go over into greater detail on what features are available today. Bob?
Okay, thank you, Stacy. Yeah, so table service in cloud. One of the things that we wanted to was think of mobile first, right? Optimized for tablets, taking orders directly at the table or on a patio. During the demonstration, I showed that there were some actions. So we have check actions, seat actions, and item actions, depending on what you've highlighted and what you want to do. So when we talk about these actions, so for a check action, we have the ability to add a service charge. We can do partial checks, right? We can split checks similar to the part 1x1 that we know with Squirrel Professional. We also have auto split, right? So it's the one check with every seat having its own subtotal and total. We can add promos. We have the send and stay for that. So if they wanted to do all the order at the same time, you can order the drinks, hit send and stay, take the rest. We can also hold items and name that check. So we're talking about, naming a seat, naming a check. We have other information on the seat that you can utilize as well, either a description or some information you want to pass along to the kitchen. And then for items, we can, we have a quantity, you can move items around. Promos, you can remove, void, split items, split and combine items if they want to split a bottle of wine. We also have the replace and the round option as well. So those things that we have set up now are the ones that, we feel the most usable. And with the pop-ups, like I said, for configuration, make things easier in the configuration level, we don't have to create a group with pop-ups, right? You can simply use one screen. And we have those things now. The stuff that's not, you want to stay away from today, are things like coursing, transfers, deferred orders, prefix meals, or combos. That is what we're doing next. And speaking of that, we can go on to the next slide. And that slide talks about what is next, right? So what's coming up next? And we add features monthly, right? So we go through our sprints and we develop a feature, and that will be added on a monthly basis. Now everybody knows that, one function does not a feature make, right? So features have different configurations. So these will be added on a monthly basis as the priority dictates, right? So we have the self-service portal for a knowledge base where users will be able to log in. We can subscribe to receive those updates on a regular basis, what's coming up next, that kind of thing. And what we're working on currently is those additional table features, right? So we're working on transfers, coursing, that kind of stuff, additional integrations, and of course, ongoing customer requests. So we take the feedback that we're getting from customers and we input that feedback into the backlog and get those developed again on a priority basis. And with that, I will pass it back over to Megan and we'll move on to Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob, and Cyrus and Stacy for that detailed overview of the Squirrel Cloud point of sale. Lots of great information there on how our customers can get the most of this new and exciting product. It looks like we do have a few questions that have come in here. So Cyrus, I'm going to pass it back over to you for the Q&A.
Great, thanks, Megan. So just as a reminder, if you have a question, just enter it into the questions panel on your webinar controls, and we'll do our best to answer them. But we've got a few questions here. One of the first ones we have here is, I'm a hotel. Can I run cloud point of sale? Stacy, would you like to take that question?
Sure, great question. Yes, you can. We already have some hotels in our customer base for the cloud point of sale. We do have an interface to a hotel property management system. You can interface with, use the Opera interface or Fidelio interface, and that would allow you to run limited services in your hotel. For example, you might have a small breakfast buffet. You can bill services to your room. What we're working on next, we don't have available quite yet, is our in-room services.
Okay, great. Thanks, Stacy. Just looking at some other questions here. I guess one question that's related to that first one there is what PMS integrations are available, and I think you answered that question, Stacey, but maybe you can just recap which integrations and if there are any limitations.
Yes, so that's the Opera interface and Fidelio interfaces.
Okay, thank you. The next question is about table service ordering features. Is there a table map available? Bob, would you like to take that question?
Yes, sorry, I was on mute. No table maps yet. That is in our backlog and will be tackled along with additional table features.
Okay. Another question here is, can I, if I'm on Squirrel Pro today, and I want to go to Cloud Point of Sale, can I migrate my menu and sales data to cloud from my current system? Stacy, would you like to take that?
Sure. No, you can't currently migrate from one system to the other. They are separate systems, separate databases. So we can't migrate the historical sales data from your Squirrel 11, for example, through to our cloud point of sale system. And we would be rebuilding your menu to suit the cloud point of sale interface.
Okay. Another question here. At what point will the $10 million plus table service and bar restaurants be able to use this system? Stacy, would you like to address that?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Yes. At what point will the larger $10 million plus table service and bar restaurants be able to use this system?
Well, it depends on the complexity of their operations. And if you're looking at a single independent versus a chain, we're looking to build this out, and we're building rapidly throughout the remainder of the year. So we'll expect that service to come through in probably 2022.
Okay. The next question here is, what provisions exist for the occasional internet outage? Bob, would you like to take that?
My favorite question, offline mode. So Squirrel does have an offline mode. Squirrel's offline mode is automatic, and it's not something you turn on or you don't have to turn it off. What it does is it will sync with the cloud. If the internet should go down, the squirrel icon will turn red to indicate that it is in an offline mode. And what happens is once it can get back to the internet, it'll just simply sync up the information that it has on that tablet. So they should see no slowdowns or no, really nothing's changed, because the application, with offline mode, it's hard because there's a lot of things that can go offline, right? So if it's just the restaurant can't get to the internet, then everything inside that local network would work, right? I could print checks, I can send things off to the kitchen, right? But if it's simply, if it's something more disastrous, if the local network is down, that in the restaurant, then it won't be able to speak to printers, right? So you can still order, you just won't have any printing capabilities. And then again, once everything is fixed, or it can find the internet again, then it simply automatically just syncs back up.
Great, thanks, Bob. Lots of good questions coming in here. Another question here. Looks like we have a few questions about gift card support. Does it support gift cards? Is there legacy gift card support in the cloud? Bob, do you want to take that one?
Sure. Yeah, we do not have a local gift card program yet, like you would think of with CRM. That doesn't exist yet. If if the payment processor has the gift card ability, then that's something that would be part of the integration.
Okay. Another question here is, why is there a recommendation for an operational size less than 2.5 million for cloud? Stacy, do you want to take that one?
Sure, that's just a guideline. As I said, to qualify for cloud, you're looking more in terms of your operational style. That's what you want to take a close look at. And are these features suited to how you're running your operations, what your brand is? So that's just a guideline to take a look at. It gives an indication of the size of business that we're currently running the independent restaurant edition for.
Great, thanks, Stacy. Another question here is, does the failover of the network require a terminal versus a tablet or an iOS?
I'm sorry,
Bob?
does the failover
of the network require a terminal versus an iOS?
No, there's no dependencies there or anything.
Okay. Next question is, serial printers, are they still a standard for Squirrel Cloud?
No.
Bob, do you want to answer?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, no, there's no serial printing with the Squirrel Cloud at this time. It's all IP, so either it's a direct wired connection or wireless.
Okay. And another related question to that is, can I run, or similar to hardware related questions, can I run cloud point of sale on my current Squirrel hardware? And I'll take that one. Simple answer is, cloud point of sale will run on Squirrel's latest, newest models. So that's a WS150 series. So that's 150 and the 151H. And then soon to come will be the WS140 series, the 141H. If you have one of those models today, those are cloud compatible. They may require a firmware update once, which isn't out yet today, but keep track if it is something that you're interested. We can certainly have that conversation. And related to that, if you have serial printers, those would need to get upgraded or updated to IP-based hardware. All right, we have another question on retail. So the question here that a hotel is asking whether or not they can support a retail outlet at a front desk. In that scenario, can we support a retail? Stacy, do you want to answer that question?
Sure. At this time, we don't support retail operations. We don't support returns on retail merchandise, but you can sell packaged goods, so prepackaged sandwiches, pop, confectionery goods, things like that you can sell through your retail.
Okay. Thanks, Stacy. Another question here is, what is the lead time to build out a system once a decision is made to go ahead with cloud? Stacy, do you want to speak to that?
And can you repeat that question again, Cyrus?
Sure. What is the lead time to build out a system once a decision is made to use cloud?
Sure. Well, the system, we actually have a much quicker turnaround for the system. It's a more flexible system in terms of building out the menus. It's a smaller menu set that we're looking at. So we're probably looking at 72 hours to turn around a menu build. And the rest really depends on the volume of requests that we receive through our implementations team.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Stacy. Looks like that's all the questions that we have in the system. Again, if you have any questions following the webinar, please reach out to your authorized Squirrel rep or customer success, and we'd be happy to address any questions there. Other than that, I think I'm going to turn it over to Megan to wrap us up here.
Great, thank you so much, Cyrus. Great Q&A session, everyone. That is all the time that we have here today, but just to wrap things up, as I mentioned at the beginning, we will be following up with a short post-webinar survey. Your feedback on today's presentation would be greatly appreciated. We will also be following up with an email to view the recording and slides in the next day or so. And please stay tuned for an invitation to our next monthly webinar within the next few weeks. We will be conducting these on the first Thursday of every month. On that note, if you would like to see upcoming webinars as well as past recordings, please visit our website at squirrelsystems.com, click on blog on the main menu, and then click on webinars. And if you're interested in learning more about Squirrel Cloud today, please, as Cyrus said, reach out to your account manager or authorized dealer. If you have any other questions on today's webinar or need further information, we will post a link in the chat to make an appointment with a customer success representative, or you can reach us by email at customersuccess@squirrelsystems.com. Thank you again, everyone, for joining and participating in today's webinar, and have a great rest of your day.